It's the traditional model for preschool. Children step inside a classroom to learn the academics, emergent literacy, math, science, and then they step outside for short breaks and playtime. It's the way it's always been done. It's what everyone is doing, so it must be working, right? But if traditional preschools are working for most children, why are so many kids being expelled from preschool daily across the US? More than 250 preschool children are expelled from their programs every day in the US. And more than half of those expelled children are Black boys. So, why are behavior management and self regulation the hottest topics in preschool right now? If the traditional preschool environment really works for most children, would this be the case? Hello, I'm Nicole Dravillas-Fravel, and this is Wildwood Teaching. And today we are getting to the root of the behavioral crisis that we are currently seeing in early childhood education. Every day, I receive an email in my inbox from Barb O'Neill on transforming challenging behavior or from Prana Richards on co-regulation. They're fabulous. I love Barb O'Neill and Prana Richards. I am on their email list for a reason because I love their view on childhood and how teachers should be connecting to young children. But my point is, would their work even be necessary if what we were currently doing was working for children and for early childhood educators? So, what is causing these behavioral issues in preschool? And it is not the children. Children haven't changed. The experience of childhood has changed. What has changed are our adult expectations and the experience of childhood, both inside and outside the preschool classroom, right? Increased access to technology, more time spent in structured activities, less time outside, and a greater desire to impose limits on children's play in the name of safety. All of these factors have led to preschool environments that do not match what children need. And when children's needs are not met, they react. They behave in ways that show their discomfort. So, how do teachers improve the preschool experience for more children and therefore reduce children's need to react? Now, I have been in early childhood education for over 30 years now. And for a while, I was that teacher walking around saying, oh, today's children, they have changed. I remember when, right? And searching for those magic classroom management techniques, those tips from Barb O'Neill, from Prana Richards, that would make the children calm down, listen, keep their bodies to themselves. But then serendipity happened. For reasons outside my control, our daily routine got flipped. And instead of starting our day inside with all of the academics stuffed into the morning and then heading outside afterwards, after all the important stuff was done, we had a few days where we needed to be outside the whole time, followed by some days where we started our day outside and then moved inside after we had done the morning academic portion of our time. And we noticed the difference, right? My co-teacher said, wow, this is better. The children were calmer even once we moved inside, right? They were keeping their hands to themselves. They were ready for whatever we were doing inside. And we teachers realized that we could do academics, we could teach math, we could have our story time, we could teach emergent literacy, we could do that all outside, right? And then limit our time inside, and everybody is happier. I explain it to parents like this. I just had a tour a couple of days ago with a parent who said, oh, but my child is really active. And I said, that's the great thing about being outside is that every child can get what they need. Now, when you're inside and you're in a small classroom and you're in a small space, it can get loud. It can get chaotic. And some children, that chaos leads to anxiety. And you're going to see the anxiety play out in different ways, right? Some children might cry. Some children might seek a small place. But a lot of children, honestly, are going to react to that chaos by becoming dysregulated and becoming chaotic, right? Screaming, running around. Basically, they're looking for an escape. And they don't have the maturity to figure out how to find it. And so they are adding, and it compounds the effect inside the classroom. And so when we are outside, those children that need to remove themselves from the chaos have the space to do that. And so we teach children to, okay, if this is becoming too much for you, you can go sit under a tree. You can take your artwork. You can take a book. You can sit by yourself under a tree and you can let people know I'm breathing by myself under a tree and I need my space right now. Or conversely, if you're one of those children that needs to move to learn, again, we've got the space for you, right? You don't have to spend your entire morning being contained, having somebody say to you, stop running, use your inside voice, wait until we're outside, because then, unfortunately, by the time that you get outside, again, you've had somebody say no to you the entire day long. You have had to try to contain your impulses all day long, right? And so then even once you get outside is going to be difficult because you've been containing everything. And then maybe you are having some issues interacting and sharing with other children, or being I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for, but containing yourself in those interactions with other children. Whereas if we are outside, you have the space to move from the get-go. You can be who you are, right? And when I say things like you can be who you are, as long as you are not distracting the other children, that is understandable. So if you need to get up and dance, right, while looking at the book and reading while I'm reading the story, you have the space to do that as long as you're dancing behind the other children who want to sit to listen to the story, right? And so it still does take a little bit of coaching. You still are going to want Barb O'Neill and Prerna Richards' behavior management tips, but you have the space for every child to get what they need. And in fact, research shows that children who spend more time outdoors improve their emotional and academic health, even reducing symptoms of ADHD. So if you want some help transitioning to teaching more outside, right? Or bringing some nature inside, making life easier for the children you teach, and therefore for you as a teacher, creating a calmer environment, please send me a direct message, comment below this video, reach out to me. This is what I do. And I will figure out how we can work together to include more nature-based teaching for you and your children. And then be sure to join me here next week for another free edition of Wildwood Teaching. I will see you there.